All right, let's watch this. The worst Ironman PvP grinds.
It's Trayvon here, and today we're counting down the absolute worst grinds that every Ironman has to suffer through. Starting off, we have the Dragon Warhammer grind. This one can be brutal. You'll be camping Lizardman Shamans
I'm doing this
what
one.
could be hundreds of hours, hoping to see that sweet, sweet drop notification go off. The drop rate, an easy one in 3,000, and it actually used to be worse, at a drop rate of 1 in 5,000. Now, statistically, you're looking at around 3,000 kills to see the hammer drop, at roughly 160 kills per hour if you're efficient in the Shaman Temple. That's only 18 hours of pure Shaman grinding. And the worst part, this is only somewhat optional. Sure, you can scrape by with the BGS, but one could argue the Dragon Warhammer is essentially mandatory for efficient bossing in this game. Corporeal Beast, Chambers of Xeric, way easier with it. Theater of Blood, it's crucial. Any high defense boss, the Dragon Warhammer special attack reduces their defense by 30%, which is game changing. Without it, you're basically griefing yourself at endgame PVM. So you can't just skip this grind
this one's
and come
pretty
back
rough.
Later. You will be camping Shamans eventually. The Gauntlet is the breaking...
Unless you spoon it. Okay, we all knew CG was going to be on this list. As CG is the first grind in the game that started making me lose all of my friends. This is definitely a make or break. See, I think that honestly, if you go dry in CG, it can be the worst grind in the game, because there are some people that are 2,000 dry in CG, and that can definitely I would not want to play Ironman if I went 2,000 dry in CG. I just wouldn't want to do it.
Point for many Ironmen. It's broken many average players as well as many streamers. Not naming any names, but if you know, you know. At max efficiency, you're only able to get 6 KC an hour. The goal of this grind is to get your hands on the Bofa and 6 armor seeds. The Bofa alone drops at a rate of 1 in 400, and each of the armor seeds is 1 in 50. Excluding the pet, it's likely you'll see your Bofa and 6 armor seeds at around 495 KC. There's actually many things that make the CG grind so controversial, and it isn't even really the drop rates. CG is particularly bad because you only have a few minutes to run around the map to craft gear and make food, which is stressful for a lot of people. You can't just turn off your brain and sit there for dozens of hours. So it really combines the worst of things: high focus, low rolls per hour, and you're going as fast as possible. Next up, we have the Soul Reaper.
If you're going fast in CG, you're getting 5 CGs done in an hour. That's pretty fast. And that's just terrible. 5 KC an hour.
Axe. To get the Soul Reaper axe, you're going to have to grind each
I mean, realistically, guys, you're doing between 10 and 12-minute trips for an average person. I don't want you guys to be thinking of, like, what would a Giga Chad do that doesn't take breaks or leave his computer. If you're going pretty fast and maybe taking, like, a small break to, like, watch a video or something an hour, maybe 5 an hour is like what an average person can do. And you have to also factor in fails. You are going to fail. Very few people on average are going to not fail any CGs. So if you're really actually being honest, it's more like 4.5 to 5 an hour if you're being pretty efficient at like an average efficiency. That is a ridiculous amount of hours. That is well over 100 hours of being in CG.
The Desert Treasure 2 bosses, since each boss individually drops a component to craft the axe with. While you're grinding for the axe, it's incredibly likely that you'll get vestiges along the way, which will allow you to create the best rings for PVM in the game. And in terms of hours spent, each of the Desert Treasure 2 bosses will take you around approximately 45 hours on average to complete.
Damn.
So let's say it'll take you around 180 hours on average. It isn't exactly crazy to say that this weapon is essentially the 4th mega rare weapon. So what makes this grind so terrible besides the time spent? Well, for starters, for the time you could spend trying to get this weapon, you might as well just go for a scythe, because it's highly unlikely that you will
This is kind of what I'm starting to think, guys, about RuneScape is that all grinds are going to take X amount of hours. So you might as well, if you're able to, you might as well skip as many of the grinds as possible and just do the mega rare, or like just do the grind that gives you the absolute base. Because spending 40 hours here and 50 hours there grinding the second best so that you can efficiently farm the first best, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Just go and farm the first best. So I think that's why a lot of people just spam the raids.
Complete the axe before each of the rings. Not only does the scythe outclass it in 99% of cases, but you also don't have to deal with the shitty soul stacks mechanic. Basically, soul stacks are generated every time you make an attack and have not reached 5 stacks. During this time, you will also be taking 8 damage. Even if your attacks aren't successful hits, this means you can expect to lose 40 HP over 15 seconds when starting a fight with 0 stacks. Don't get me wrong, you can straight up hit 80s on task with it, so I'll be going for it at some point, but always having to have the soul stacks in the back of my mind is gonna be a hella hassle. The Imbued heart is pretty famous for its sadistic grind. To be on rate,
wow.
It used to be around
some of you guys said heart, you're right.
25 million Slayer XP. With the addition of Xeric sights, it's now only 6 to 10 million Slayer XP to be on rate. And only then, 63% of people will have one by then, with the rest going dry. To put this,
is this the strat, guys? You just do smoke devils or dust devils and Araxites for an Imbued heart grind. This is the new strat. That really takes down the amount of XP. Smoke devil and Araxites.
This into perspective, even with the elite combat achievement reward of having superior slayer monsters spawn more often and doing the fastest tasks for a heart, it's 1 in 52,800 for abyssal demons if you have the elite CA. For smoke devils, it's 1 in 40,000 without the CA and 1 in 30,000 with the CA. Araxites don't make the grind much better, coming in at around 1 in 33,000. To be honest, until you get a Tumikin Shadow, the heart is more or less a luxury item. After having one though, it's more or less required if you want to make the most out of your shadow. The Imbued heart is so important for a shadow because of the shadow's passive effect, where your magic attack bonus and magic damage are multiplied by 3 outside TOA and multiplied.
I feel like I'm in school right now and I'm in a RuneScape class and I'm learning. This guy would make a great teacher.
Multiplied by 4 inside TOA from your currently equipped gear. Basically, with good gear, your magic accuracy is going to be stupid high, and it's going to be
everybody take notes. Get your notepads out, guys.
You're able to turn the Imbued heart into a saturated heart, which grants a 5-minute boost that increases your magic level by 4 plus 10% of your level, making you even more accurate. The Voidwaker is probably one of my favorite weapons in the game, strictly because of its special attack. Its spec summons a lightning bolt that is guaranteed to hit, making it one of the best spec weapons for damage in the game. The Bear, Spider, and Skeleton Wilderness bosses each drop a component to making the weapon. It's a one.
Guys, so far, Joker has already finished 3 of the grinds on this list. CG, Dragon Warhammer, and Voidwaker. He's already finished 3 of the grinds on this list. This is crazy.
1 in 360 drop chance from the multi-bosses, or a 1 in 912 chance from the singles bosses. What makes this grind so bad is the wilderness, especially nowadays with the amount of bots at each of the bosses. The only good part about grinding for this weapon is the ridiculous amount of supplies you'll be getting from these bosses. Otherwise, you'll be constantly on the lookout for other players, hoping they won't interrupt your kills. The best possible thing you could do is purchase another subscription so you can have an alt to use as a security camera outside of the
Is his fucking name TikTok my cock?
boss rooms. I think this is actually terrible game design if a player feels forced to have another account to feel like they have a...
Is this a problem in the wilderness, guys? That if you're going to go farm in the wilderness, you just leave a scout outside? Is that a problem? Everybody does it, though. Everybody does that. I don't know how to fix that or make that better, but it's just part of the meta now. Scout and alarm plugin. It's PvPers preying on PvMers, so PvMers are inventing new ways to defend themselves, I guess. It's part of the natural evolution. It's part of the PVMers leveling up their defense. I'm sure the PvPers don't like it, but hey, the PvPers, they gotta evolve or figure out ways around it, I guess. There's nothing you could do about it. That's just part of the system. It's just how it goes.
Decent chance at going for an item. The Dragon Hunter Lance. Nowadays, it's pretty optional if you're already doing Tob and have a scythe, but if you ever intend to do solo chambers of Xeric, it's generally recommended that you get a lance because it's going to make learning 4-1 a lot easier, meaning that you attack 4 times and the boss attacks once.
Dragon Hunter
Lance, you're...
Okay, this is 95 Slayer. I'm going for this.
Going to need to kill Alchemical Hydra for a Hydra's Claw, which has a drop rate of 1 in 1001. Then you just combine the claw with a Zamarakian Hasta. I loathed this grind because Hydra is up there for the most boring boss in the game. There have been times where I've literally fought my...
Skip Lance and go straight to TOB? Guys, what level should I stop doing Slayer? Or stop worrying about my Slayer level? Do I just want an occult? Dude, all of you guys are saying 99. You stop Slayer after getting a heart. You need the gloves from Hydra. Okay.
Myself to not fall asleep when farming him. Every single kill is practically identical to the last one. And there is just enough going on where you can't look away or you'll probably just die. Back in the day, there wasn't an animation to when the boss changes attack styles. You just had to remember that they switch every 3 attacks. So your entire grind would be spent counting to 3. Are you a brew enjoyer? Well, this grind is just on another level compared to the other ones, and you'll be sipping plenty of brews by the time you're finished. If you're doing duos, it'll take you approximately 300 hours on average to complete the boss.
Next
is
some of you guys said
widely
next.
known as a brew chugging simulator. While there are a ton of ways to mitigate damage, you will still be chugging down several brews during each kill. Initially, this isn't so bad, but over the course of 1,000 kills or even 2,000, it all adds up. If you haven't kept up with your farm runs throughout your account's life to this point, Next is going to make you regret that when there isn't much left for you to go for.
Is that what you guys are saying? I'm gonna need hell of is Next what I'm gonna need the most amount of Cerebrews for? Is that really the wall for Cerebrotions? Okay, I'm gonna need to probably start locking back in on that again soon. Then I think I can make another 4,000 or so right now.
Nightmare is likely going to be one of your goals. The drop rates here have been adjusted a few times now, but even then, it's still going to take you hundreds of hours to get the items. Excluding the pet, you can look at around approximately 621 or so hours. This piece of content is honestly pretty sad. It's sad because Nightmare is one of the most difficult solo bosses in the game, and the fight is really engaging. It's just ruined by dog water drop rates for the uniques and terrible standard loot drops. Generally, I wanted to focus on bosses that dropped items that were actually useful.
There it is.
I figured, how could I possibly make a video like this without mentioning
Number one.
Corp? The main reason people kill Corp is in hopes of getting an Elysian Sigil. This sigil can be used to create an Elysian Spirit Shield. The shield has the passive effect that gives you a 70% chance of reducing damage that you receive by 25%. Resulting in a 17.5% overall damage reduction. This effect makes the shield huge for things like the Inferno or the Colosseum. You also have the chance of getting an Arcane Sigil that will let you make the Arcane Spirit.
Chat, if I teach Ivy Inferno, should I tell her to get an Elysian Spirit Shield? Is that the best item in there? If you're trying to make it as easy as possible? Yes? Okay.
Spirit Shield. Combining this with the Eldinius Ward from Toa lets you create the Eldinius Ward
Ally plus Justicar,
which is a great
Just magic go the tank strat.
And the Spirit Sigil.
I think we're going to probably try the tank strat with her.
Which lets you create the Spectral Spirit Shield that has the passive effect of reducing prayer draining attacks from enemies by 50%. With the expected completion KC of just 4,721, with 10 efficient kills per hour, it'll take you just around 472 hours to complete this boss. This is just a couple hundred hours quicker than Nightmare, but it just feels a lot worse. Not only are the drop rates brutal, the Elysian Sigil being 1 in 4,095, but the gameplay is so bad. No matter which method you choose,
4,000 Corp
consist of you teleporting out of the boss arena and back. This is especially true when using the classic stat draining method, where you hit the boss with 3 Dragon Warhammer specs, 19 Emberlight specs, and then do 200 damage with the BGS to drain all of its stats.
98 mage.
The Chambers of Xeric contains one of the most iconic drops you could ever get on an Ironman account. The Twisted
T-Bow! Guys, we called it. T-Bow, Corp Beast, next. Those were the popular grinds that everyone said.
Bow. For this item alone, assuming you don't go dry, and you're getting an average of 33,000 points in solo deathless raids, it'll take you around 500 hours just to hit the drop rate for this. The drop table also contains 2 other mega rares with the same drop rate. The Elder Maul, essentially a Dragon Warhammer upgrade, and the Kodai insignia that you can use to upgrade a Master Wand into the Kodai Wand, the best wand in the game. There's also the Ancestral Armor, the best in-slot mage armor, where each piece is as rare as a shadow from TOA. Even outside of Pride Month, being on the Cox train has been pretty enjoyable. You can always learn something new to make your runs just a little bit faster each time. And it's pretty easy to watch movies or shows on a second monitor until you get to the last.
Bro didn't change his inflection at all. He just said the joke like it was part of the script.
Boss. The only thing that brings it down is, again, the terrible drop rates. Going 100 plus raids dry without seeing a single purple isn't abnormal, and you'll have a 57% chance of seeing a prayer scroll when you finally do get a purple. Before I seriously started grinding this raid after receiving my prayer scrolls from here, my main goals were full ancestral and a twisted bow. At the making of this video, I have a KC of 879. This KC has taken...
Bro hasn't gotten Kodai, Elder, or Twisted Bow in 900 runs?
Me months to get. I haven't seen a single one of the weapons from here, and I still do not have full ancestral. In my 27 years of gaming and thousands of hours I've put into different games at this point, the Chambers of Xeric is by far the worst thing I've ever done. Drop a comment below and let me know what grind you're currently stuck on.
Oh my
God. If you enjoyed
God.
this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Iron Man content. I'll see you
I
in
like
the
this
next
guy's videos. I like these type of videos, these like top 10 lists. That was a great informational video, really well done. The animations were good. Shout out to Trayvon King for that video, man. Very nice, very nicely done. I enjoyed that. We got well, I say we mean us, and us is we, you know, it's part of the thing, you know, your ideas, my ideas, and you know, I'll take the credit for it, of course, but that's fine type shit. I really like that we were able to collectively guess all of the tough grinds, and a lot of you guys said CG, Corporal Beast #1, Twisted Bow, and next the next grind is to get Torva. And then to get Blood Torva, you have to do the Awakened Orb grind. And then you have to kill all of the bosses on Awakened. And then the actual Desert Treasure 2 boss grind was also on there. So yeah, I agree with this list. These are a lot of really tough grinds. With the easiest one on here probably being Dragon Warhammer. It's only 18 hours. And I don't think that the Dragon Warhammer is that bad because you're kind of just passively doing it through Slayer anyway, which you need to level up. And I don't really mind doing it as long as I'm on task. So hopefully I just get the Dragon Warhammer naturally by the time I get to like 95 Slayer. If you don't get it by 95 Slayer, then it becomes an issue. Because then you have to farm them off task. Because you're probably never getting an Elder Maul. And BGS, I'm trying to avoid BGS, but I know I'm going to need Bandos to upgrade to Torva anyway. So maybe you just do Slayer to 95, and if you don't get it, then you just spam Bandos, and then you go Bandos into Torva. Am I starting to understand this game more, or am I just speaking nonsense? I think the first thing that you do in RuneScape is you do 95 Slayer. I don't think anything is more important than 95 Slayer, because along the way to 95 Slayer, you're unlocking at least the ability to get critical items that are going to help your account achieve some best in slot items. Slayer sets you up so that you can do the grinds. It's like you grind Slayer so that you can do the grinds in a way. And of course in Sardaco after Quest Cape. Because Quest Cape gives you a bunch of free levels. I think you do Quest Cape, Diaries, 95 Slayer. I don't see any other way to play RuneScape. And this is coming from a guy who did Infernal Cape, who did Quest Cape, Infernal Cape. I don't think that's the best way to go about it necessarily. Slayer is really good. How far are you on the diaries? I have not focusing on diaries, but these are how many I need left. I've done all the medium ones. I have a couple of hard and elite left.